morning! It's just after 11 o'clock on Tuesday the 9th of July, and here I am at Mablethorpe. I parked up last night on the pub car park where I enjoyed a couple of pints of Staropramen lager, which is something that I used to drink in Bulgaria actually, but they do sell it in most of the supermarkets now in the UK, and it's a very fine lager. And interestingly, I didn't have to pay for either of them because I met a very nice guy who I think his name was Paul, and sorry Paul if I've got it wrong, and also the landlord whose name was Ash, and I kindly asked permission to see if I could park my van on his car park, a nice big spacious car park, and he was most obliging. And as I was leaving, because they was deciding to close early because there wasn't a great deal of business, this was around about sort of 9 o'clock by the time I got back from collecting the van at Skegness. And so it was an early night, and he actually gave me a Staropramen glass to take back to keep in the van, and it was full of Staropramen lager, which I thought was very kind of him. And he said I can leave my van there as long as I like, and we're going to link up onto his Facebook site, and I can share the film to him. The weather today is quite dull actually. It's not cold, but it's not warm either. There is a bit of a breeze, but that's going to be behind me. And my intention is quite simply to walk from here to a place called Tetney Lock. And the reason that I'm doing it today is because the weather forecast, and I've checked it again this morning, we're going to get at least 2.5 days of rain out of the next 3. I've sorted it all out with the buses, and I can catch the Grimsby to Mablethorpe bus later this afternoon, which travels not far from Tetney Lock, but it'll mean a short walk for me to go to North Thoresby, and I can pick it up there. This is the view that I'm getting from here at this very moment. As you can see, it's a bit dull and grey, and then I'll be saying, here we go. It's just before 1 o'clock now, and I've decided to come off the beach onto a more solid surface. It was okay while the tide was out, but the tide's going quite a long way out now, and I just want to try and add a bit of variety to this film as best I can. And so I've quite accurately found where the car park is, and the other main reason is I want to get into a village, to a pub, and have a nice cup of tea and a proper sit down. There's nowhere to sit down on the beach, but it's warming up actually. I've overdressed a little bit. I've got my sort of tunic on as well as my yellow jacket, and I can always strip off a little bit, but I just thought it'd be nice to, let's say, have a bit of variety. And I think I'm going to make it to Tetney Lock, and I'll be able to get a bus back quite easily, even though I'm going to have to walk on from Tetney Lock. Wednesday the 10th of July, and here I am at the Vines campsite at Saltfleetby, which is around about 6 miles from Mablethorpe. And I was walking past here yesterday and noticed the site, had a quick look. It looks a very nice, clean and tidy site, and it's what's called a special location with the Caravan and Campsite Club, of which I was a member. I'm not a member now, but I am actually going to join up again, ready for going to Scotland, because I'm going to need campsites up there, and they have special locations everywhere, just like this. Today is going to be when I say an unusual day. I did plan to have a day off today because of the weather forecast, but the weather is quite reasonable. So because I thought I was having a day off, I've arranged to meet someone in Louth, which is about 10 miles to the west of here, almost in a direct straight line actually. And then my intention is to carry on the walk this afternoon from where I left off yesterday to come here and all the way through to Tetney Lock, which is probably about 6 or 7 miles from Grimsby Centre, or sort of around about 4 miles from Cleethorpes Centre. So I talked with the owner of the place. He is a very nice guy. He's a very sprightly 80-year-old called John. And because I'd missed the only bus from here into Mablethorpe, where I'd left the van, he offered to give me a lift, which I thought was very kind of him. And bear in mind that they're only allowed to have around about 5 caravans or motorhomes or whatever at a time on a site. The 4 were here already, so I thought it was very important for me to go back to Mablethorpe and bring the van back immediately, which is exactly what I did. And it was a great decision because it's a wonderful site. Very friendly caravan people around me as well, and I've been talking with them all. Lovely, lovely people. And so I'm very happy. I've got my hookup, I've got everything I need here, showers, facilities, fantastic. I'm very pleased about that. So I'm going to be leaving here around about 11 o'clock. I've uploaded a film, which the only bad thing about here, because we're so near the coast, is that the internet signal isn't very good. It works, but it's not very good, especially for uploading a film where you need good internet. Otherwise, the difference between a good site, a good situation is that it'll do it in about half an hour to maybe 45 minutes. But this one was taking forever. It would have taken about 3 hours to load up, and that excludes me from using my laptop. So I drove into Louth and made an arrangement to meet a friend at Morrison's car park. And seeing as they don't have a restaurant, we decided to go to a cafe.
Hello.
This is Bry. Everybody knows
Hello.
Bry.
Hello.
He's come to ramble with
Yes,
me.
I come to ramble with Jim
Yeah.
on a course in the area, and
Yes.
luckily it just finished in time. And I phoned Jim and said, "Where are you?" And he said, "I'm going for a breakfast. How could I not? How could I not have a beautiful breakfast with Jim?" Great to meet you, Jim, as well. Really, really
Great to meet you, mate. Fabulous. And I don't want to sound as if I'm affected in any way, but loads of people who I've met in the past, so it's really amazing. I've been watching you on the box for the last 15 months, and to actually sit in front of you. Well, I feel exactly the same feeling as they have now.
Thank you.
To actually sit in front of such a wonderful bloke.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
I get so much pleasure from your channel, mate. It's brilliant.
Thank you. Good. That's what it's all about, Jim, isn't it?
Yeah. So for my friends who have never met Bry, you've got to watch The Ramblings of Bry. It's on YouTube. And it's also got a Facebook site as well. And a very, very interesting and lovely man. And it's a real pleasure to be sat in front of you, mate.
Bless you, Jim. Thank you very much.
Everything's going.
You're the proprietor.
I am, yeah.
Your name, sorry?
Marie.
Marie, and this is? Steph. That was a wonderful breakfast. Thank you very much
thank
indeed.
you.
And I've just come to meet my friend. We've been friends on YouTube. We've both got quite big YouTube channels. There's thousands of people watching this. And so while I'm in this area, he's come to meet me today, and it's lovely to see him. And we thought, he checked it out on YouTube, and he says, let's go to this cafe, good things. So
Brilliant.
thank you very much.
Yeah, no,
It's pretty good, isn't it? It works.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the chance.
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
There you go, mate. That's great.
Thank you.